Hey, I'm Dan, and this is Dan's Planes. Here we have the Soviet MiG-3. This was built from plans from Model Aviation Magazine from the archives. I picked it up at a swap shop in Perry, Georgia this year, 2022. It's got a BME 50cc engine in it. The guy said it was a easy go-to plane for him. I've always wanted a MiG-3. I love how the cockpit is set backwards from the wing compared to other World War II fighters. It's because it had such a heavy engine, the pilot needed to sit further back to account for the center of gravity. But I always thought it was cool. It looks kind of more like a racer. So I had got the plane already set up on my own Spektrum receiver. Previously it flew Futaba. Had to reverse a lot of channels on it. Then we set up this day to Maiden, this MiG-3, and a Black Horse Zero, re-Maiden, a top flight P-51 Mustang, and maybe, if all the aircraft gods were okay with it, we were going to fly the Black Horse Focke-Wulf too, but that was, all of that was pretty aggressive. So, although I had the airplane set up, I had to guess on the controls. So on my Spektrum radio, I just had 100% for my high rates, and I think I did 75% for mid, 50% for low. I did 30% expo on low and mid, and then 40% or 45% on high. So that's my wingman and coach and mentor of all things giant scale and gas, Marc. He's been a tremendous help this year. He's one of those guys that typify the population in this hobby. They're just people that are really into figuring out what's going on, learning something new, trying to figure things out, and always willing to help each other. Those are things that I just love about this hobby. It's never boring, and there's just always something new happening. So we weren't sure if this engine was going to be able to start by hand or if we would need the starter like you see there. Thankfully, Marc had a starter. It had been some time since this had been ran. So we found some green gunk in the fuel lines, and ultimately we couldn't get it started here. We had to take off the carburetor, take it to the bench, and clean it out thoroughly, and then come back and tackle it again. So once we got it started, then we let it run for a little while to warm up. We wanted to try to run through any more gunk that might be in there and could loosen up. Then we had to set the high end on the transmitter and set the idle on the transmitter. While we did that, we would also adjust the high idle and low idle screws on the engine. So you kind of go back and forth doing that. We found we could get a pretty solid high end. It would kind of change once it was up in the air and it unloaded flying around. But the high end was pretty well dialed in. The low end, though, we had a constant issue where it was intermittent, where you could give it full throttle, then bring it back to idle, and it should settle down into a low idle. But sometimes it would take 15-20 seconds for it to settle down, which is an eternity when you're trying to come into land. Or sometimes it may only take 1 to 3 seconds like you would normally expect. So I'm not sure if that's just a characteristic of this engine. It could be a throttle plate that's loose. Could be a vacuum leak, but I doubt it because we didn't have intermittent issues with the high end. So I'll probably, now that I've flown it, I'll go through and just go ahead and replace the fuel line with new fuel line, and I'll take the tank out, clean the clunk, make sure there's nothing in there, and if there's anything in the tank, go ahead and clean that out too. I should have done all that before coming to the field to run it, but mental note for next time. So the next step was getting it up in the air. Go! I did not. It does not like rolling with the gas. Okay, idle up.
Remaining 3 minutes.
High right.
High aileron. So in the air, she was really docile, slow-wise and maneuverability-wise. So I didn't use the low rates. I needed high rates for the ailerons, but I found the engine would gurgle, leaving it just on high and doing circuits that way. And when I rolled or when I tried to do a loop, then it wanted to cut out. So still need to get it dialed in a bit more. But all in all, a boring Maiden is a good Maiden. I just stayed up high and tried to stay out of the sun, which was kind of difficult because the sun was on the right side of the field. The right side is where I needed to approach for landings. So I wanted to hang out on the right side in case my engine died, but I just couldn't with the sun there, so I was staying more to the left side. So I just kept doing nice and easy circuits and try a roll, try a loop, see what it would do. You definitely got to be at full throttle and go into a dive to get a loop out of her, and she feels like she wants to snap from too much elevator doing the loop. But she's just very slow and docile. Maybe a 22-inch more aggressive prop, or maybe 20 or 21-inch, I don't know. Maybe that'll help out. We will see. I think I did a 5-minute timer for this flight.
Okay.
And yeah, 30 some seconds left, so go ahead and lose a little
I just want to thank Marc for all his help and support as I'm trying to get through all these giant scale Maidens and get acclimated to gas and giant scale planes. Also, I'd like to thank Jared Millet for doing all the camera work, and also Scott at Aeroscott out in California. He's a wonderful guy that knows just about anything you'd ever want to ask about engines. I would highly recommend him as engine maintenance or modifications.
Of course the wind comes up.
Nice.
I'll take it. You didn't want to settle down too much.
Yeah. Even with that, at that idle, it's still not doing bad, especially with high grass.
Yeah, the grass helps.
So, keep your elevator flat, so it'll no labor on the bump.
Just in case ignition off didn't work.
Perfect. Couldn't ask for better than
Yes, we will take it.
that. Yes. All right.
My man,
You got it.
we did it. One down.
Thanks so much for watching. I'm Dan from Dan's Planes. I just want to share some content about RC planes, something I've been passionate about since childhood. I'm hoping I can teach something to someone, I can start some discussion and learn some things from others. So let's just have some fun and learn some things together. If you enjoyed what you watched, it would really help me out if you could like, subscribe, and share. And if you feel that it helped you out in some way, or it might help future viewers, I'd really appreciate it if you'd visit my Patreon page and become a patron. It's like throwing a $1 tip into a guitar case when you pass by. It helps to fund future content and future projects that I'll be working on. I plan to show some past content. I have some other flights and I have some fly-in events that I've been to. And I also plan to show future flights and future repairs, as well as building ARFs, and if I can ever get back to it, building my top flight Spitfire. So there's a lot of content to come, but it's viewers like you that are able to support what I'm doing, and by doing that, I'm able to spend more time creating that content in the future. So I'd really appreciate it. But either way, thanks for watching, and thanks for any support, and I wish you blue skies and good speed.